بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا متابعينا مشاركينا مع ووش، أهلا بكم من جديد. Welcome everyone again. Welcome with Winter Solstice Championship with Woosh, stage number 4. Today I have my partner from Sweden, Jeff Thorin.
Yes, hello, Abdullah.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, thank you.
So today is a different day. Stage number 4 is 45K. There is no drafting today, and it's 45 kilometers, and the elevation is 290, almost a flat race. It's exactly like a team time trial or individual time trial. So we have today Mr. X100 and Pablo Popovich, Rakab Vib, SS, and UAE Clan Team 1. And also we have very strong team indeed. Today the Danish Pavlova, but also we have UAE Falcons, Yusuf Mirza and Zayed Hamdan, Ahmed Al-Taneji, Hassan Al-Rumethi. Team Alpha, until this moment, this team, they are with the top 5 in a team result. Abu Saif Al-Muharrami, AZ20, Bu Amr, Bu Dhiab. Hayakum Allah. So we have team 71, Bu Ali and Bu Yasser, Bu Mansour. They are from United Arab Emirates. Team 71. 71, that's meaning the date for the national day for United Arab Emirates. So we have Octagon team, Muhammad Salim, Mansour AD, Hashim Al-Harbi. قواكم الله. الاستمرار يا شباب. Danish Pavlova, the strongest team until this moment, and also the winner from this team, Jason Osborne, Michael Vink, Michael Kennedson, William Poshmiller, and Ollie Jones. Draft team, we have Bruce Baird, Saeed Safarzada, Ryan Gugliano, Ross Fawcett, and Edie Vell. Team NZ, we have Vidar Mel and Philip Graves, Mitch Ferry, Juan David Vargas from Colombia, this man. And Crank Boys, we have Lorix with Archie and Giro, and Matt with him. The two riders, they are with red, they are not there today. That Julio Origo and Tom Hervey, Maxime Perret, that Velo squad team. Individual lining up today, we have Christoph them and Thor Felix and Thomas Bern Basha and Nasser Al Khalifa, and let's go. The races begin, and there's no drafting today. It's 45 kilometers. Everyone, he will be in his own power. Let's go and restart this race. There's no segments today. It will be so hard, Jeff, today in this stage number 4.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it's going to show who the strongest riders are for this particular style. I mean, time trial it's all about consistency and holding a really high power output for a very long period of time. Obviously today it's 45 kilometers. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one for the guys. And there's, like you said, no stages today. So this is going to be an all out effort for 45 Ks. And it's going to be pretty hard on them.
Exactly. It's the same distance in the Olympic Games. The IT discipline is 45 to 50 kilometers. It is the Olympic Games cycling discipline. It's the same even in the World Championship. So it's not easy to do this 45. You are just doing all that distance in your own power. There is no draft, no drafting, nothing. So you will push. Look at this. Look at them. That Michael Kennedson here showing until this moment. Bruce Baird doing good. By the way, this type of race is not easy to continue the all distance with very high intensity. Now here, that Kennedson with 374, it will be big difference today. We can see the rider, even Osborne, the winner with 3 stages. It will be today the real exam for him. He will exam himself today with this stage, number 4. That Jason Osborne showing here with Vink. They are leading the race with more than 400 watts, and the speed is 44 kilometers an hour. Bruce Baird, I had some experience about this man. He's okay with this type of racing. I think he will do good today. Philip Grace as well, Mitch Ferry, and even Mr. X100. He's okay with this type of race because he used to be doing all the distance, sometimes solo. That Mr. X100 now, look at him, is 400 watts, and he is just doing great now. The speed is 43. And like what we are saying, there's no drafting today, and everyone will be in his own power.
Yeah, you're exactly right. With the no drafting, it really adds, I think it adds a fun element to this because teamwork is extremely crucial to this whole, this whole championship. But today it's basically every man for himself. And as we watch Mr. X100, I've been calling him for the last few days Mr. Consistency. I think this is going to be a good stage for him where he can just find a rhythm and just sit in the pack and get through this 45Ks. It's going to be interesting to see what some of the tactics are for the riders if they have any tactics.
The tactics, you have to keep your power and you try to just do that average, and you have to control your heart rate beat and then same time the average of your power by watts. It is the most important plan you have to do today. There is no other plan. You have to get all your power now in one average and you keep it all the way until the end. I think the only way to do something in stage number 4 and save your time, it is by time now. The best time, one of those riders, they will try to do all what they can, but it's not easy to continue. I hope, I don't know who will be able to keep his average power until the end. He will be the winner. That Mr. Alexander now, look at him. Now 44 kilometers an hour with him, doing great. And still we are in the 3 kilometers. And Mr. Alexander, he is in great shape today. I think he get good rest yesterday, that day rest. So now I can see here the riders behind, but still they are in 3 kilometers and 4 to 500 meters now. Mr. Alexander, he's the front. In front of him, there is still Jason Osborne. He's doing good. He's doing good now by 5.9, and Mr. Alexander 5.6. Like what I'm saying, Jeff, this man, he's very, very good in this type of race. So he can continue with that average until the end. I hope he can do it, but maybe. I had some good experience about this man and also Bruce Baird. Bruce Baird. So let's see. And what is going on now? It's 4 kilometers done, and still the 44 kilometers an hour with Mr. X100. You need to control your heart rate beat here. Great job, Mr. X100. And Jason Osborne, he's still there. And if Mr. Mohammed Bika, the director of this streaming, he can give me this, yes, exactly. It's only 1 second. Pablo Popovic, Mr. X100 now 9 seconds behind Jason. 8 seconds behind Jason right now. That's Mr. X100. He will try to close that gap. So like what we are saying now, this is the stage number 4. It's time trial stage. Everyone, he will do it by his own speed, by his own power. So let's go. Control your average, control your heart rate beat, and keep breathing all the time. Until then, there is no climb today. And also, in same moments, it is windy area. Look at the beach there, the ocean is showing now, that view. And that 45 to 46 kilometers an hour, it is so hard for everyone to keep it until the end, Jeff.
Yeah, it really is. But if you look at the top, let's see, the top four guys, maybe the top five, including Pablo Popovich, they're all pushing high 400s, low 500-watt ranges right now. And they've been doing this for the last 2.5 kilometers. So this is going to be a really fast pace if they can keep this up. And it's, yeah, with Mr. X100, let's see, he's how many seconds back is he? Not very many. So he's like 12 seconds. So that 12-second gap, and he's pushing 417 watts now as we speak. He's going to have to work really, really hard to catch up to that main group. And I think, yeah, I think maybe that's a tactic of the front guys. Get off the front, establish a gap, and make everybody else work even harder to keep up with them. So it's going to be interesting towards the end. But right now, this is fast. This is a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Look now that UAE Clan Team 1, Mr. X100, he is in front of Pablo Popovich. Pablo Popovich, he will try at least to stay behind Mr. X100. Now, Mr. X100, 4 seconds, he's in front of Pablo Popovich, his teammate, and even SS and Rakaba Vib is not showing until this moment. That's why this man now he will try to close the gap at Osborne now by 12 seconds there and 11 seconds. Look at Bruce Baird. You know, I was talking about Bruce. Remember? Look at him. Look where is he, Jeff?
Yeah, he's doing really good leading out Jason right now. But I think he's just trying to wear him out. And Jason isn't I don't think he's an easy person to wear out at this point. But really impressive stuff from Bruce. And just the other day when we saw him close the gap with Mr. X100 to that main group, I mean, he's a strong rider from Canada. So I think this is going to be our showing. I think these top three guys, Bruce Bird, Jason Osborne, and Michael Vink, the Vinkinator, as he's called, I heard. I think these three guys are really going to battle it out to the end.
Yeah, now Jason behind Bruce Baird, Jeff. Now Bruce with the best time until this moment after we finish that 6.8 kilometers. So still long ride to the finish line, that 45K. Until this moment, Jason Osborne, again, he will try to take the lead from Bruce Baird. Two riders now in front. Jason Osborne, a three-stage winner. So now he will be there with Bruce. Bruce, he will show himself, that man from Canada. He will try to keep himself with that average until the end. Jason, he's so smart and he's strong, I think, enough to keep his average until the end of this race. And I was 421, 47 kilometers an hour, and still the heart rate there with him is 140 something. And now Mr. X100, he's doing the same heart rate with Jason Osborne. Look at this. Oh, Jason Osborne, he is pushing now, is 171. The heart rate beat, it is above the threshold level and it's almost going to reach the VO2 max level. So it is so hard on this man. And comparing with Mr. X100, Mr. X100 now, even he is now behind him by 15 seconds, but Mr. X100, he's doing great and his heart rate is still going in a threshold level. And that will be big difference in front of this time. So that's mean we did not finish the first 10K of the all distance stage number 4. I think there's big change will be happening after we reach that 25 kilometers. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I think the same, and I think it's very interesting of Jason going on full attack right now, but he's he's smart. So I don't question his tactics at all here. I mean, his heart rate is really high, his watts are really high, but I don't think he'd be pushing a pace like this if he didn't have a plan, or if he knows he can't sustain that pace. So I think what he's doing now is he's going to try to build a big gap and make the guys behind hurt a little bit to try and catch up to him towards the end. And I think we kind of saw it in the women's race where it almost played up for Faye Faber, but that might be what Jason's doing. Just establish a large gap, let them work hard to try to close it, and see who's there with you at the end. But as of now, I think it's these three guys. Everybody's working so hard. It's awesome to see this right now.
Look at this. Jason Osborne, he's back again to the race. He is now with 4 seconds gap. He's better than other by 4 seconds or three. And there's one more name. He's coming. His teammate Michael Vink from New Zealand. The two riders now with the best time, and still Mr. X100. He is trying to keep his average is 400 watts for everyone, for each rider now in that top five. The top five until this moment: Bruce Baird, Vink, Jason Osborne, and Mr. X100. In my experience, Bruce Baird, he is strong in this type of race, and even this man from United Arab Emirates, he is very, very, very detective in his training, and he's doing this all the time, all the week. That's why he will be with the top five until the end. Maybe with big surprise will be happening today. And I hope that will happen. But still, the race is going, and still we are waiting for the first K, still the first 10K. It's still there is more than 35 kilometers to the finish line, and so with many surprise is coming in the way. Now it's still that 400 watt with Hassan al Ramethi now by 38 kilometers an hour. When you see this, when you see that people now behind and look at the speed of 33, it's not easy. There is some resistance right now. The route here, it's with that open area. That means it's windy, and even that it's wind now. I think it's a headwind. Look like it's headwind now. Maybe it's a crosswind as well, but there is some resistance comparing with the watt and the speed. 300 watts now with AZ20 from United Arab Emirates Team Alpha. He's pushing 340 watts and his speed is 34. In reality, in the ground, if you are reaching that 350 watts, and the speed should be above the 40 something, you know that?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of just like going back to what you said earlier. They may be in the back of the pack and they're going 10 kilometers slower per hour than the front guys, but that's still not easy to do. Like that is still pushing a lot of power and it's really difficult for them. So it's this course, it looks really flat, but there's a lot of false flats. So I would guess there's a little bit of wind playing in right now and as well as a little bit of elevation.
I think it is windy day. Look at the flag there, the United Arab Emirates flag is showing now. It is crosswind. It is crosswind now. The flag is showing. The wind is coming from the right to left screen. Look, I think it will be hard for everyone now. The speed is 38 kilometers an hour with 300 watt AZ20. Mr. X100 is above 40 kilometers and 420 watt with Mr. X100, and he is still fighting and he's keeping that speed. But the gap between him and the winner, the world championship title, Jason Osborne from Germany, he is still there leading this race from Danish Pavlova team. He is in front with 18 seconds. Now it's become 19 seconds, but Vink behind him, and Bruce Baird is still there behind Jason. And Jason is doing great until this moment. 3 seconds between Osborne, Jason, and Vink, and 6 seconds, Bruce. 15 seconds, Mr. X100. Pablo Popovic, he's now behind in a seventh position, and there is someone else is coming now, is Philip Graves. Even you can see this, they are behind him, but there is no draft. He cannot feel any change. He is just doing this effort solo until the end. So Vink, Bruce Baird, Mr. X100, and Jason Osborne, the top five rider now in this event, they are leading the race in front with the best time, but there is someone chasing from behind. It looks like that man from England. He is Philip Graves. Philip Graves is doing good. Mitch Ferry, he's okay with this type. This man, he was doing the same thing what Jason Osborne doing. He was in rowing discipline. Mitch Ferry. That Mitch Ferry showing now is 400. That's man from Australia. His name Mitchell. Mitch Ferry. So now showing Kennedson by 3 seconds. Mitch Ferry in front of him. Pablo Popovich by 5 seconds in front. And still Mr. X100 in front of them by 17 seconds. Today, I think everyone in this race, he is going to be in this race in his own power. And at the same time, you can, even us, we can know the ability for everyone today, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a really tough day for them. And it's I'm just sorry, I'm just watching Jason Osborne right now on my iPad, and he's just keep crushing with 420 plus watts. Like this is wild to watch Jason Osborne perform these kind of watts right now like it's nothing. And he's been sustaining 170 beats per minute. I wish we had webcams on some of these guys right now just to see how hard they're actually pushing at home. But this is an impressive show so far, and it's yeah, this is a really cool race today.
It's 175 heart rate beat with Jason Osborne and 440 watts. Beside the 2 kilometer, Jason, he's just controlling his heart rate beat, and which is good, by the way, which is good because when you keep that heart rate beat, the level when you are, it's most important to keep that in one average until the end. He don't want to reach that V2 max. He want to stay in the threshold level, which is great. I'm so happy to see Jason Osborne doing this now, and that means he is strong. And seems to me he will stay like this until the end, Jeff.
Yeah, it rise as of now at 13, 14 kilometers in, it looks like it, but we can't count out Vink, who's back there, and as well as Bruce Bird. Bruce Bird still 15, 16 seconds back, but that is a closable gap in the right circumstances. But yeah, I don't think we should count out anybody else at this point. But right now, Jason's fully in control of this race.
Think he will try behind now. Jason Osborne and Mr. X100. If we are same, you know that you look at the window now, the screen window on the right, that Mr. X100, and the left there also towards Jason Osborne. If with the small comparing here between the both rider, we can see it's only 10 to 15 watts is different between the both rider. Here you go. That 417 with Mr. X100, there it's 428.30. It's not that gap. And look at the speed here, 44 and 42. Only the difference is the speed. And everyone knows today the power by watts or the watts by power, the both, it is about the age and also I mean the weight of the riders. So if we mix out that devices, that watt, the average watt and his weight, I think that's 6 point now here, 6 point something with Jason now 6.1, yeah. He's 6.1 watt per kilogram, which is doing good, and he know that he can reach more than 500. He can reach 600 with this because he still have enough power and many space in his stamina. He can do more. But he just keeping that average. And in my opinion, this man in this moment, he's just controlling the race, and he will not let anyone come close to his time. That's what he's doing. But still, we are in the first 15K and 30 kilometers away to the finish line. And Mr. X100, and he's still chasing the time. He's just chasing the time. Look at him now. It's 44 kilometers an hour, and he's still going, and he will try to close that time. It's not, it's not enough for him to keep that 14 to 19 seconds. He want to close it. I know this man. I saw him last year, Mr. X100, because he's so detective in his training. And that type of those riders now we see, and this type of race is not easy to keep the average until the end if you will not be able to train all the time in this type of training. You do it just solo until the end and you keep one average. In my opinion, Mr. X100 is very, very good in this. Now, 100, oh, Mr. X100 now is 400. Still, he's the average is 400 now. But there with Jason Osborne, more than 460. He reaching 160. And now is 16.4. 300 meters between the both rider. That 300 meter, that mean about 14 seconds to 15 seconds. Now 26 seconds. It's now to the 300 meters. Yeah, 26 seconds. It is little bit far, and the gap is little bit growing now. It was by 14 to 19 seconds, but in this moment, I can see that gap. It's growing to 29. But Mr. Alexander, he can close that gap to make it until 9 to 10. Bruce Baird, he's still there, but now Bruce Baird, between him and Mr. X100, it's only 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Now, the number one in this race is Jason Osborne, number two, Vink, number three, Bruce, and number four, Mr. X100. Mr. X100, he was in number seven, then he jumped to number six, then jumping to number five. Right now, he's in a four position and is very near. He will be in a third position. You can see that. I know this man what he's doing. So interesting, Jeff.
Yeah, it really is. And Mr. X100, aka Mr. Consistency, is doing what he does best. He is holding these watts, this heart rate, this speed, everything on the almost on the mark. And if he does that and the person in front of you is starting to slow down a little bit, or if they speed up, it doesn't matter. If Mr. X100 stays consistent as he has been, he's going to close that gap up to Bruce Bird. And it's a really, really fun to watch him and Bruce Bird kind of go back and forth because they seem really close together, really close competitors. So it's really nice. We have Jason Osborne off the front with Michael Vink. So there's one race, and then we have Bruce Bird and Mr. X100 as, you know, a second race. So we have like two races within one going on right now, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Yes, very, 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 very high intensity right now with Bruce. Bruce is fighting with Mr. X100. There is someone now he is commenting and asking. He said high watts, low heart rate. Heart rate. So let me to explain to him. Now, some of the riders here, the age is not like that young riders' age. It's not there. Some of them, it's above 40 years old or 45. That's why when I see now Mr. X100, he's reaching 160. I know he's already now in the last level of the training, heart rate training design. When you make that heart training design, you know the maximum heart rate for someone his age above the 45. See, it is exactly and definitely it's not like someone who's in 27 like Osborne. you know it's big difference. It's big difference. So that's why you can see now watts and low heart rate beat, and you think, what is going on? It's nothing, because it's because of the age of the riders here. They are not below the 40 years. That's why they are doing so hard. They push so hard right now, and we appreciate that, and we are so happy to see this. Now, for example, the World Championship title with Jason Osborne, and we know his age is 27. 27, we can see the heart rate beat is above the 170 something now. Look at him. It's 173, and the watt is 431. So in this situation, everyone knows Jason is 27 age, 173. So now he's in the threshold level, or maybe almost reaching that VO2 level and the maximum heart rate training. I think it is normal to see this. It's normal to see high watts with low heart rate with the riders here. That's why I want to
Yeah.
explain this, because someone asking.
Yeah, exactly. It's the age plays a huge role in all of the metrics. So in the heart rate, in the watt output, everything, the watts per kilo, how much you weigh. Yeah. Everybody's really different. So yeah, heart rates can be all over the place. But it's nice that we had a question come in. It'd be nice to get some more questions come in from people watching.
Yeah, they are watching and they're asking and they just thinking. Some of riders, some of them, they are riders and they riding and they knows about the watts, they knows about the training design programs. They knows, everyone know, but some they need some answers. They can see now that very high watts here, it's 452, and the heart rate beat is low. They said, oh, how that's come? There should be some answer. So the answers already we say it for them, and we are so happy if there is many questions we can answer that questions. So Jason Osborne is still there in front, and the Bruce Baird. So now he is behind Mr. Alexandret. Great job, Mr. Alexandret. Great job, Bruce. Now look at the space between Bruce Baird and Mr. X100, the United Arab Emirates rider now. Mr. X100 behind him, Bruce Baird now, in same seconds, same time. They are doing same time now, and still Vink there. So Mr. X100 in a third position. So proud of you, Mr. X100, the leader of UAE Clan Team 1. In front of him, Vink and Jason Osborne. This stage is a great stage for this man, Mr. Alexander. To Bruce, he's doing good. So now, Bruce, go, go, go. Let's see now the back of the race here. That's Boo Yasser. It's big difference. It's 25 kilometers an hour and 130 watts with Boo Yasser, and heart rate beat is 168. Boo Yasser، يلا يا بطل، يلا يا ابو ياسر، اداء جيد ممتاز يا ابو ياسر، استمر حتى النهايه يا ابو ياسر. قدها 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 يا شباب، جميع الشباب اللي اداءكم ممتاز، ما قصرتوا، استمروا حتى النهايه. هذا ابوي ضد الساعه، اللي يقدر يستمر ويعطي للنهايه راح يكمل المرحله ويروح للمرحله اللي بعدها، وباذن الله تنهون هذا الطواف على خير. يلا يا ابو منصور، يلا يا ابو منصور، برافو برافو ابو منصور. اشوف الشباب اليوم ممتازين بصراحه، ممتازين. برافو يا ابو منصور، استمر حتى النهايه، حتى النهايه يا ابو منصور. اداءك مميز، اداءك مميز. الضغط لا فوق ال 400 واط. عندك الان السرعه 36 وادائك ممتاز. القراءات كلها تعطي. الله يا لفه الريل ما سرعها، ما شاء الله عليك، ما شاء الله عليك يا ابو منصور. حاول بس تضبط المعدل. شوف انت مستر اكساندر كيف ضابط المعدل، محاول انه يضبط النفس. يعني حتى النفس لازم تضبطه، ترى لا تلف لفه سريعه وتوقف، لا لازم تضبط لفه الريل. ايوه ايوه واضح هنا، ممتاز ممتاز ما شاء الله. يا ريت بس تقدر تكمل على نفس الضغط هذا يا ابو منصور، كمل على نفس الضغط، وحاول بس تضبط لفه ريلك، اضبط نفسك وحاول تثبت واط معين، وان شاء الله انك راح تكمل على خير. انت كمل 17 كيلو، 17 كيلو ترى مو بسهل، ترى مو بسهل. انت كل يوم تسوي مرحله، واليوم هذه مرحله اربعه، يعني انت تتكلم عن كم 45 كيلو انك تتم على نفس المعدل. هذه مساله جدا مهمه ضد الساعه. التثبيت للواط، تثبيت ايضا للسرعه، بالاضافه الى انك تحافظ على النبض انه ما يوصل الى المرحله اللي هي الماكس. فانت حافظ على نبضك، نبضك ممتاز الان. اعتقد انا مو بعارف عمرك كم، لكن واضح الان 170. هاي ال 170 واضح باننا واصل الى مرحله يا انك في الثري شولد يا انك في الفي او 2. انا مو بعارف بالضبط لان عمرك ما اعرف بالضبط، لكن اعتقد انك انت تسوي مجهود كبير ومتحمل الحين، وانا حاسب اللي تحسه الان. برافو يا ابو منصور. نشوف شو يسوي هنا الحربي. والله الحربي نفس الكلام، نفس الكلام الحربي. يلا يا هاشم، الحربي ثبت المعدل، ثبت المعدل هاشم. ايوه ثبت، خليك مثبت المعدل، اضبط نفسك. النفس الحين انا اشوفه اوكي، بس الواط لازم ترفعه فوق ال 200 على الاقل. ايوه ايوه. لا تزيد وتوقف، لا تزيد وتوقف، لا تضغط توقف ريلك يا بطل. حاول تثبيت. شوفوا مستر اكس 100، شوفوا مستر اكس 100 كيف يثبت اللفه. هو يحاول يثبت لفه ريله ووحده ثابته، وهذا اهم شيء، هذا اهم شيء يا شباب. يلا يا تيم الفا، يلا يا ابطال، استمروا على هذا الاداء حتى النهايه، لان وضعكم جدا جيد، وخصوصا تيم الفا وهاشم الحربي بوضعيتك هذه. ان شاء الله انك تكمل على خير المسافه، لانك انت موصل الان قريب ال 20 كيلو، والله هانت. وهذا شوف مستر اكس 100، شوف هذا تثبيته ممتاز، تثبيت ممتاز لمستر اكس 100، برافو عليك. في المركز الثالث مستر اكس 100 اليوم، لان دائما هذا وجودك تثبته دائما في الفردي. انت في الفردي وجودك واضح، يفرق معاك يوم يكونون جروب يتعبونك، لكن هني يومك، هذا يومك، هذا مكانك، هاي قدراتك. هني تقدر تعطي. شوف كلهم اللي كانوا يفوزون عليك كلهم ورا، ترى على فكره كلهم متاخرين وراك في نص دقيقه، واللي ب20 ثانيه، واللي بدقيقه، اللي هم ينافسونك يروحون عنك. انت اليوم ودعتهم. الان ما تموا غير اثنين قدامك بس، يعني حتى بروس بيرد الان متراجع عنك اكثر من 13 ثانيه ولا اكثر، والان انت في المركز الثالث. وهذا الامر اللي نحن لا 3 ثواني وراك، ب3 ثواني بروس، خل بالك. وفيليب جريبز وراك ب28، حتى بابلو موجود الان ب34، وهاي فرصه كبيره راح تقفز قفزه نوعيه. زي ما تكلمنا بالنسبه للترتيب العام، لين الان انت موجود في قلب المنافسه، انت ما بعيد، ما بعيد. اذا بنتكلم عن 16 ثانيه، مو بعيد مستر اكس 100، صدقني انت موجود في قلب التنافس، وانت موجود الان في المركز. اذا ما تكلمنا عن الترتيب العام، انت بالمركز الثامن الان. بهذه الصوره استطعت ان تقفز الى المركز الثالث للترتيب العام. خل بالك على هالنقطه. برافو يا بطل، والله اتكلم جد انك قادر عليه، لان الان انت حاليا راح تحسن نتيجه الاوفر اول والترتيب العام، راح تقفز قفزه من المركز الثامن، راح تقفز الى المركز الثالث بهذه النتيجه. كل اللي قدامك كم صاروا وراك، ما عدا واحد فقط وهو فينك، والمتصدر جيسون اوزبورن. يعني سعيد صفر زاده وراك، بابلو وراك، اللي امامك فقط الان فينك وجيسون. واعتقد بهذه الصوره تقدر تقفز هذه القفزه الى المركز الثالث للترتيب العام. حافظ على هذا الامر اللي ماشي عليه، الرتم عالي ممتاز. النبض الان انا بالنسبه لي لما توصل 155 وتثبت، تضبط النفس، تضبط النبض، تضبط الواط، وانت ممتاز، فوق الممتاز يا مستر اكس 100. استمر بهذه الطريقه الى النهايه، وقادر عليه باذن الله في المرحله الرابعه، وانت قدها. جيسون اوزبورن الان بدا ينزل بالسرعه، على فكره اقل منك ينزل السرعه. لو تشوفه، انا ما بعرف اذا تقدر تشوفه ولا لا، بدا ينزل السرعه الان. انت اللي محافظ على السرعه، ما شاء الله ما شاء الله، برافو. هذا جيسون الان، شوف لاحظ الان يرفع السرعه. يا ما ادري كيف يسمعني ولا ما يعرف، يمكن يسمعني. والان بدا يرفع السرعه فوق ال 45 كيلو متر في الساعه في هذه الوضعيه. مستر اكس 100 مقدم مجهود كبير، 25 كيلو، وانا كنت متاكد عند ال 25 كيلو راح تفرق الامور. انت قادر على انك انت متعود على الصمود، متعود على القتال الفردي، والقتال الفردي هذا يومه في هذا المكان. عندك لفه ريل ثابته لحد الان، عندك الواط ثابت، عندك السرعه ثابته، وهذه صفات نجوم ابطال ضد الساعه في العالم. يلا يا نجم الامارات، يلا يا مستر اكس 100. Let's go now. We can see now that Mr. X 100 in his situation right now, he has third position, and here we go. He will be now in the overall in the third position. He will jump from the 8th position overall to the third. Will be the top 3 with the stage number 4 end. I think if he will keep that average speed until the end with the average of the watt, he will do great job today, and he will jump from 8th position to 3 position after stage 4 finish. So I'm so proud of of Mr. X100, and also Jason Vink. He's fighting to be in the second position. He's in the second position now, even the overall. So now it's 28 seconds between Mr. X100 and Vink. Vink is behind Jason Osborne. Only 9 seconds. 9 seconds. So he just surprising me today, that Vink from New Zealand, doing now all what he can do is he's keeping the average speed. Look at the heart rate beat with Vink is 152, and beside the water is 400. And we just explained that it doesn't matter for the heart rate beat is down because it is about his age. Now is that Vink here in the second position behind Jason Osborne. In the third position, Mr. X100, the top three rider today in stage 4. They are just doing great. And the big chase now is coming from Mr. X100 and Bruce Baird. Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, it's really, really nice showing for Mr. X100. And like you said, going from 8th in the overall standing up into 3rd, that should be a ton of motivation for Mr. X100 to keep on this pace and keep building that gap between him and Bruce. As of now, the gap is 8 seconds. And if Mr. X100 can keep on this, he's going to just expand that gap even further on. And then up at the front with Michael Vink and Jason Osborne. Awesome race right now. I mean, Jason is pushing it, but so is Michael. Michael's really trying to keep up and keep him in his sights. But yeah, right now at almost kilometer 28, this is getting really exciting. Really, really cool.
.29 kilometers is done right now here. with Pablo Popovich in the chasing. He's chasing now Philippe Graves in front of him by 17 seconds. And this big gap is going to be right now between the top three. The top three, they are in the next level right now. Vink, Mr. X100, and Bruce Baird. Bruce Baird there with Mr. X100 and Jason Osborne, 41 seconds. Vink behind this man. Mr. X100, 30 seconds. Vink in front of him. 12 second Bruce Baird. Bravo, Mr. X100. Pablo Popovich. By the way, Pablo, he was the third position the overall. Pablo, he have to fight for his position now. Yesterday he finished in the third, the stage number, day before yesterday. He just finished in a third position behind Saeed Safarzada from draft team and Danish Pavlova, Jason Osborne. UAE clan team 1, Pablo Popovich. He will try to keep himself now. He don't want to lose the time. In the overall time now, Mr. X100 is jumping to the third position. Bravo. That's 43 kilometers an hour. Pablo Popovich, he's just standing on the bike and he's just pulling 170 heart rate beat with 370 watts with the Pablo Popovich, 396 to 40. Mr. X100, 45 kilometers an hour, and he's still keeping that speed and maintain that speed, that 43, 44, 154 heart rate beat with Mr. X100 now. Oh, Mr. X100. Now he's in a VO2 max level. He's doing now so hard. I hope he can continue that 14 kilometers to the finish line. He just keep that until the end. Go, 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 Mr. X100. Bruce, he will try. Behind by 14 seconds. In the fourth position now. 14 seconds. Bruce Baird from Canada. And Bruce, 184 heart rate beat with this man. Jason Osborne now. The heart rate beat is 176, 400 watts. It is above the threshold, 100%. He is moving to the VO2 max now, Jason Osborne. I'm so surprised with this man. He knows how it's going here. He's going now. He's going. Yeah, exactly. He's going. No one will catch Jason Osborne. So the World Championship 2020, the UCI, the first UCI Championship indoor cycling. Here we go, that Jason now, 400 watts, and the average speed is 43 kilometers an hour, and 33 kilometers is done. So it is about 12 kilometers to the finish line. Now Jason Osborne, stage number 4. It will be, if he will finish with this effort, and it's going to be stage number 4 winner, Jason Osborne, World Championship. Vink behind him by 12 seconds. Mr. X100 by 31 seconds. Great job from Mr. X100, by the way. Now, look at Mr. X100. It was 1 minute and 29 seconds. Now this man eat more than 1 minute. More than 1 minute. Great job, Mr. X100. So hard job now we can see from this man. The United Arab Emirates rider now, Mr. X100. He knows. He just keeping himself with one average and watching his heart rate beat, his breath is most important. More VO2 you need in this type of racing. More VO2. Go, go, Mr. X100. Go, 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 go. It's now is 422 watts, and the speed is 43 kilometers an hour. It's more than 47 minutes, and this man is still there with very high intensity. Now his spin is 72. Look at the elevation, is 238 meters above the sea level, and he's trying to close that gap by time. It's 45 seconds between Mr. X100 and Osborne. He's not that far. That gap it was 1 minute and 29, 10k back. But now in this moment, when we can see this, it's less than 15 kilometers, 10 kilometers now, or 11 kilometers to the finish line. The last 10 kilometers to the finish line, Mr. X100, he now just accelerate and he will push more and push. Look at him. Now the speed is going 43. He's on average. Bravo. That is most important, and so clever now that Mr. X100, he's just giving himself when one average speed is 44 kilometers an hour, 425 watts, and he's trying to close that gap. Vink now is in front of you by 29 seconds. 29 seconds. If Mr. Mohammed Bikar now, the director of this live streaming, he can give me Vink in this moment. Yes, he can open another window. If you can open another window, we can see. We can make some compare now between Mr. X100. It will be a big challenge between the two riders now. Yes, exactly. That's what we need. That Mr. X100 now here is showing in the left screen window, and the right one, Vink. Vink now, the speed is 42 and 43 with Mr. X100. So in each minute, maybe more than 2 seconds, Mr. X100, he can take it from this man, from Vink. So keep going, Mr. X100. Vink, be careful. This man is coming now behind. He will close this gap if you will not reach more than 45 kilometers an hour. Oh, look at this, Jeff. Look at this, Jeff. It's really
Yeah.
hard race now between two. They are
Yeah,
listening, by the
really
way.
exciting. And the last 10 kilometers right now is going to be really crucial for both of these riders. If Michael Vink starts to slow down a little bit, then of course Mr. X100 is going to close that gap even more. But at this stage, it looks like both of them are trucking along really nice. They're both keeping the same speeds per hour. The power range is right in the same spot, so it's going to be tough. Vink isn't making it easy for Mr. X100 to close that gap. It's yeah, these last 10Ks is going to be really hard on them. And if you look up at the front of the race, Jason Osborne still extreme commanding lead. He's built that gap up to 13 seconds between himself and Vink. So I would just say at this point, yeah, Jason is going to retain his yellow jersey. And I really hope that Mr. X100 can climb from that 8th position up to the 3rd position in the overall standings. And it's it's going to be a great team finish as well for Danish Pavlovich.
Okay, Jeff, look now again. We can see that Mr. X100 and Michael Vink, the both rider, they're still fighting to the last 9 kilometers to the finish line. The speed is 44 kilometers an hour. Now Vink, he just increased the speed more than 47 kilometers an hour. Is big challenge between the two riders for the second place. So now the second position for Vink and the third position Mr. X100 from United Arab Emirates UAE Clan Team 1. That Jason Osborne is still there flying with 14 seconds. Oh, great job, Vink. Now 14 seconds. Jason Osborne by 42 to 43 seconds between Mr. X100 and Jason Osborne. Oh, what is great. And oh, Jason again. Be careful, Jason. Oh, he's now more than 47 kilometers an hour. And 49 with Mr. X100. 49 with Mr. X100. Mr. X100 now in the last 9 kilometers. He will push all his power right now. He knows there's no climb. He knows there's a flat, little bit windy, but he will push all what he can do. Now, Mr. X100 now is in front. By 27, 39 seconds now. So interesting. so interesting. برافو برافو يا بطل، والله رائع يا مستر اكسندرت، والله رائع. افتخر وفاخر فيك يا بطل. برافو برافو، استمر استمر بهذا العطاء الكبير الآن، وهذا اللي كنت تقدمه من خلال المراحل والأيام السابقة، لما تكون في الخلف وهم يروحون هم مرتاحين في جروب ولاصقين، انت اللي كنت تتعذب، انت اللي كنت تضغط، انت اللي كنت تجيهم من الخلف. هذه الخاصية اليوم تنفعك، اليوم تنفعك يا نجم. اضبط النفس، بس اهم شيء النفس اهم شيء النفس الان. لا توصل للمرحله انه خلاص ما في نفس، الاكسجين مطلوب. يلا يا بطل 158، انا حاس الان، حاس بالوضع، حاس بالوضع. اسمع ليش، تحمل تحمل. انت قفزت قفزه نوعيه، راح تسوي قاب ممتاز، راح تحافظ على مكانك، راح تقفز للمركز الثالث بالنسبه للترتيب العام في بعد المرحله الرابعه. اذا الان في هذه اللحظات حتى هم خايفين منك. شوف شوف شوف، بدا يزيد، بدا يزيد السرعه الان، يحاول انه يزيد. انت افضل منه حاليا، حاليا انت افضل منه، بدأت ترفع السرعه. هو الان شوف عنده ما بين 430 420 واط، وسرعته 34 او عفوا 43، وانت الان عندك 42. الزمن بعد ما كان دقيقه ونص اصبح الان 39 ثانيه. اعتقد بان عندك قدره كبيره انك انت تصل الى المركز الثاني على الاقل. اضغط اخر 5 كيلو، ركز اخر 5 كيلو، عط كل اللي عندك في اخر 5 كيلو. حاليا نحن عندنا 38 كيلو قطعتها خلاص. اللي متبقي الان الى النهايه اقل من 7 كيلو، اقل من 7 كيلو. لكن بعد 2 كيلو عليك انك تضغط كل اللي عندك. لا تنسى هاي المرحله الان في هذه الجزئيه هي اصعب مكان. هاي الصعده اللي جايتنك الان، بتحس بصعده. شوف الصعده اللي قدامك هذه، هذه راح تفرق عليها الامور. ايوه ايوه، اضغط شوي، اضغط شوي، حاول تكسب في هذا المكان الصعب. هني يصير الكسب، هني يستوي الفرق. يلا يا نجم، برافو يا مستر اكساندرت، اضغط. والله قدك قلصت الفارق. شوف في هذا الضغط، في هذا الضغط الان قلصت الفارق بينك وبين اللي قدامك وهو فينك الان هو في النفق وانت وراه على طول، راح تدخل النفق الان. برافو مستر اكساندرت، والله قد الان. يا ريت تحطم الزمن ان شاء الله بتحطم، بس تدخل في النفق. حاول تكون قدام، حاول انك تضغط، خذ نفس. برافو عليك. الهارت ريت بيت عندك واصل ال 157، وانا عارف ان هذا الحين واصل انت في مرحله صعبه جدا، لكن التحمل هذا هو سواق الدراجات، هذا هو سواق الدراجات، هذا هو الصمود، هذا التحمل. برافو يا مستر اكساندرت، الى النهايه خلاص. الان بالعد التنازلي الست كيلومترات الى خط الوصول، 6 كيلو تعطي اللي عندك الان، كل اللي عندك الان 450 واط، 400. هم مثبتين، والله انهم مسوين كنترول عليك. والله انا اشوف ان الكنترول الان ماسكين عليك كنترول عالي، واداء ممتاز مسوينه يعني عليك هم الاثنين. عليه كنترولك ماشيين عليك، انت ماشيين على الواط اللي انتم يزيدون عليك بس بشوي. وهذا اللي اشوفه الان أنا. هذا اللي اشوفه، هم يشوفونك كم تمشي، هم يمشون اعلى منك بشوي. هذا مستر اكساندرت يا بطل، برافو. اداء ممتاز لابن الامارات هنا في الصوره، مستر اكساندرت. وبهذا الاداء المميز في الامام ايضا الان بطل العالم. انت الان تنافس بطل عالم. حط في مخيلتك ان هذا في 2020 هو بطل العالم ورسميا لليو سي اي. انت تنافسه الان بهذه القوه، بهذه القدرات. هو عمره 27 سنه قياسا، الله يعطيك العمر، وانت موجود في عمرك هذا، والله انك شامبيون. لو كنت في عمره كان هذا وين وراك. يعني شو بقول، والله العظيم بس برافو، ما اقول غير برافو بامانه. يعني اللي تقوم بالان اداء كبير. اتمنى حتى النهايه هاي الساعه. الله 52 54 العد التنازلي راح تدخل في ال5 كيلو الان، 5 كيلو الى خط الوصول وتقطع المسافه. تقلص الان الصوره الى 22 ثانيه. نعم، نجحت يا بطل، الان. يا سلام عليك، هذا هو الشغل، هذا هو في مأزق الان. هذا هو المتابع الان. شوف المتابع اللي وراك ايش يسوي. هذا فينك الان يوم شافك رفعت يرفع. يا سلام عليك يا مستر اكس اندريد، اداء خيالي الان. منافسه قويه ما بين الثلاثي الان اللي موجود، انا جيسون وفينكو ومستر اكس هندرد في هذه الصوره الان المذهله اللي نشوفه الآن ما بين هذه الصورة هناك الواط فوق 450 والكل يتابع بعضه الآن والكل يشاهد. نشوف النبض واصل فوق 158 مع مستر اكس 100، 165 مع فينك، و178 موجود الآن مع جيسون اوسبورن. إذا الآن المنافسة هنا موجودة 177 178 النبض، نعم 178 النبض مع جيسون. جيسون الآن عطى اللي عنده كله، خل بالك يا مستر اكس 100 عاطي اللي عنده كله الآن، بدأ يتعب، مو بأي واحد روم يصمد، أنت اللي متعود، أنت اللي تذبح نفسك في التمارين، أنت قدها وتاخذها. روح يا بطل روح، على الأقل أني أقفز الترتيب العام للمركز الثالث ومو فيها أي شيء. إذا كان البطل هو بطل عالم اللي موجود الآن في الأمام، إذا بطل العالم اللي موجود في الأمام إلى الآن جيسون اوسبورن في محاولته، وأيضا يعرف تماما مين القادم خلفه، يعرف أن زميله فينك ما عنده مشكلة، لكن المشكلة معك أنت القادم الآن بقوة. السرعة الآن 44، هو عنده الآن 45. المحاولة لا زالت لهذا الدراجة 32 ثانية. خلصت الفارق بينك وبين البطل 32، وسعت الفارق بينك وبين اللي وراك. الكل الآن يقاوم في الخلف، ولكن أنت أخذت الآن الترتيب العام الثالث بقفزة نوعية مذهلة لفريق الإمارات الوي كلان تيم 1. إنها الآن الأمتار الأخيرة، آخر 3 كيلو يا بطل، آخر 3 كيلو، خلاص ما في تهاون، ما في تراجع. لا تتراجع الآن إلى الأخير، لا تراجع الآن، ما في تراجع، لو شو ما يصير خلاص استمر يا بطل، استمر ولو شو يكون التأثير إلى خط الوصول الآن 158. وقدها يا مستر اكسندرت. يا سلام يا سلام، والله اني حاسب التعب الآن والمجهود الجبار اللي تقومه في هذه الأثناء. الآن جيسون في المحاولة موجود الآن فوق 40 ثانية، يضغط، يشوف ضغطك، يضغط مثلك. الآن سرعته 45، سرعتك 43 في هذه الأثناء. الآن نشوف أيضا فينك بنفس هذا الوضع، بهذا الوضع الآن خايف منك فينك، خايف منك الآن ب 24 ثانية، 24 ثانية قدامك الآن. نشوف لا صارت 34 عفوا، ولكن قادر انك تكسرها. وصلت والله انها 28 و24، والله انها وصلت الى 24 ويتقلص الان. الجميل في الامر انك فرقت عن اللي وراك، اللي كانوا في الاوفر اول قدامك كلهم صاروا وراك الان، تقدمت، وهذا هو التايم اللي انت محتاجنه. يلا يا بطل الى النهايه الان، خلاص ما ظل شيء. وانت الان شوف حتى بروس وراك تقريبا اكثر من 40 و48 ثانيه، وهذا ادفانتجك. هذا بروس بيرد الان الكندي 44 ثانيه خلفك ب 44 ثانيه، الكل خلفك الان. قفزه نوعيه يا قائد. يلا يا بطل، يلا يا كبير، كملها للنهايه وانت قدها. اذا الان لاحظ الان في 444 واط وهم يمشون بنفس الوضع الان، نفس الوضع، ولكن السرعه هي اللي تفرق. 44 و45 معاك الان يا مستر اكساندريت، معاك الان فينك ب 35، ولا زالت تتقلص الان المسافه بينك وبين فينك. وهذا هو الان ما بقى من ذلك التايم. يبدو لي بان الان 43 كيلو 500 يعني 1500 متر بالنسبة لهم، أنت بينك وبينهم 300 إلى 400 متر فقط. الأداء كبير ومثير يا مستر اكساندريت، أتمنى إن شاء الله الوصول الآن في هذا اليوم الصعب. أثبت وجودك، نعم أثبت وجودك ما بين الكبار كأقوى مستوى موجود في هذه البطولة. هنا تفرق، هنا النجومية، هنا اللي تفرق ما بين الجميع الدراجين. بالفعل انه السباق الاقوى ضد الساعه، كل واحد وقوته. نعم ما في درافتنج، هذه 600 اللي تدفعها الان وتوصلها، هذه القوه المدفوعه الان كلها لها ثمنها، تدريب وتعب. يلا يا بطل لا يروح تعبك خساره، ان شاء الله ما يروح خساره. ممتاز مستر اكس اندريت الان ب 154 داش الان في اخر 1400 متر، كيلو 400 متر الآن، والعد التنازلي راح توصل بالكيلو الأخير. الزمن الآن معاك، السرعة كبيرة الآن، ونشوف الزمن ساعة ودقيقة في 43 كيلو. معدل السرعة فوق 43 كيلو متر في الساعة لحد هذه اللحظة يا بطل. يلا يا نجم. نعم هذا هو الكلام، هذا هو الكلام. معدل السرعة فوق ال 42 إلى 43 كيلو متر في الساعة. والله إنك بطل، والله إنك بطل. معدل السرعة فوق ال 43 كيلو متر في الساعة في المسافة المقطوعة، تصل إلى ال 44. إذا ما قدرت شوي يضغط، شوي يضغط. هذه 42 43 المعدل. حاول الآن في آخر 800 متر. مستر إكس 100 جيسون أوزبورن راح ينهيها في ساعة ودقيقة و51. جيسون أوزبورن he just finished by 1 hour and 1 minute and 51 seconds. Vink there behind, he will finish right now in 1 hour and 1 minute also. And behind this two riders, we can see that Mr. X100 is coming and he's flying. Look at the timing there. It is great time for Mr. X100. He will jump from the 8th position overall to the 3rd position now. He is going to finish. Go the last 300 meters, 200. It's counting down. It is going to be the 3rd rider finish this race. The 3rd rider from United Arab Emirates, Mr. X100 from United Arab Emirates, UAE Clan 1. He will be there and he finished in the 3rd position. برافو برافو يا بطل. هذه 45 ثانية، 45 ثانية تنهيها. وبروس بيحاول ينهي الآن خلفك في هذه اللحظات، لكن تقدمت على بروس بأدائك المذهل وبإمكانياتك اليوم. وألف مبروك المركز الثالث، ألف مبروك هذا الأداء الكبير. بروس الآن رايح ينهي هذا الزمن، ونشوف الفرق بينك 53 ثانية فقط بينكم بين المتصدر. 11 ثانية بينك الآن، 53 بينكم بين المتصدر واللي أمامك تقريبا 41 ثانية. والله رائع يا مستر X 100. What is a great race today. So now Jason Osborne, one more day keeping the yellow jersey, and the winner today in the very hard stage, it is 45 kilometers time trial. Jason Osborne from Germany, Danish Pavlova. He did great. He just finished by 44 kilometers an hour in that 45 kilometers race. So in the 2nd position, Michael Vink, and 3rd position, Mr. X100 from UAE. He just finished this one. UAE Clan Team won by 1 hour and 2 minutes and 45 seconds, 0.101. Then with 53 seconds behind Jason Osborne, the World Championship. It's a great job. Great job. Look at the 4th position, Bruce, and Philip Graves in a 5, Mitch Ferry 6, and still the time is going. Pablo Popovic, he just finished right now with very huge gap. It's 2 minutes and 49 behind Jason. And there is someone by 1 minute and 42. It's Bruce Baird. Philip Graves by 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Kennedson by 2 minutes and 55. So that Jason Osborne now, his time, and he's just doing that yellow jersey, and he keep that yellow jersey in save for one more time, one more day. So Jeff, what do you think about this race?
That was an incredible race by Jason Osborne. And like I said earlier in the stage, as soon as he started to take off, I knew he was smart enough to do what he knows he can do. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't try to hold a pace he knew he couldn't. So he showed his expertise really well today. And it was awesome to see Michael Vink, his teammate, up there with him, and as well as Mr. X100 getting into the top 3 there and moving into the 3rd overall standing. So it's great race.
This is a great race indeed. So look at the others now. They are going to finish this race. At Rose Foskett here from England, Eddie Val and AZ20. I'm so happy to see this man in very good condition, and he's going to finish this race in good time. I think he's the best local from United Arab Emirates today I can see him here, that AZ20, and also behind him Hassan Al-Rumethi. He's doing great too. That Hassan Al-Rumethi, he just behind AZ20, and Tom Hervey also is behind, and Busef Al-Muharrami is here, and everyone, they are trying to finish this race. They're still at 5K. Look, the big different of levels. The riders now in front, they are finished with average speed 44 kilometers an hour. With Jason Osborne, he finished that's distance, the 45 kilometers. He just finished it in 1 hour and 1 minute. I think it's he just doing great job. He just finished it by 44 kilometers an hour, approximately 44 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, that was a very, very impressive time. Overall finish. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than it was good. I mean, it's beyond
Yeah, it
good.
was great. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. Anyway, so we are waiting for the next stage for tomorrow. It will be one more action day for everyone. So even for us, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really cool stage tomorrow, and it's nice to see our segments come back. So it's going to be really interesting. We have a lot of those 1K segments coming up, and then two of the 10Ks with a nice little climb at the end.
Yeah, tomorrow it's going to be one more day with the segments, and the segments will be back. And we have the elevation, it's 429 meters above the sea level. The total will be 800. So there is, we are going through the jungle also, and we have long distance segments and the short segments. So that's why tomorrow one more challenge waiting for riders. So Jeff, so you think now with big changes happening in the results, so we are waiting for the overall result will be coming shortly. If it's ready and Mr. Muhammad Bikar he can show us, will be good. We are waiting for that. If it's ready, if it's not, so tomorrow we will see it. I think it's about to be ready. That's how it's come. That overall result, how it's come. No, I think there is not for today. This one after day number 4, because who's came seconds? He was only by 18 seconds behind. Now they had to see it again. It's not that far. We'll check that again because it's more than 2 minutes. Some people there, some riders, they are behind by 4 minutes behind Jason. So it will be big gaps now in the result, overall result now today after stage number 4. That definitely we'll see it later. Okay. Anyway, what do you think, AZ20 now from Team Alpha? They are still in the top 5. The team result, and they are fighting for this 5 position. Hassan Al-Ramethi, he is also there from United Arab Emirates. So tomorrow we have one more day, stage number 5, again with the segments, and the same distance as 45 kilometers. 2 long distance, 10 kilometers segments, and 5 it will be for 1 kilometers. The first 5 and 6, it will be with elevation 389, and the last segment number 7 with elevation 429 meters above the sea level, and it's going to be in a very hard route. It will be in the jungle, so it will be so high level in this. Thank you very much, everyone. And congratulations, Jason Osborne. I'm so happy for him to keep his jersey for one more day. And happy for Mr. X100. He's just jumping to the 3rd position now with great performance. I hope to be tomorrow in same shape and get more rest and recover for tomorrow, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice to see these 3 guys battle it out tomorrow. But with the segments being back, it's going to be anybody's race, really. So I'm excited to see tomorrow, stage 5.
So, okay, anyway. Thank you very much. You are watching us here with Whoosh. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Bikar, the director, the live streaming director here with Whoosh family, and my partner Jeff Thorin from Sweden. Thank you very much, and so happy to have you here with Whoosh again. And see you tomorrow. Say something for your people, and goodbye.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for stage 5.